Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got this question. I love this. This is great. I was going to stop doing videos for today, and then I saw this Trello card that says "Mind goes blank when recording videos," and I thought that's great. I have to answer that. I haven't even pre-read the question. It's so good that I'm just automatically going to answer this question. So let's see what it says. Trouble recording audio, speaking tips. Okay. Hey John, love your videos and advice. So I finally decided to start making videos and I'm experiencing some issues. Okay. So I usually think about what I'm going to say and then walk around the room rehearsing it a bit, which usually sounds great. But when I sit down to actually record, my mind goes blank. I tried writing it down, but for some reason, it just sounds forced and not very natural. I know you've done a lot of speaking and I was hoping you would have some advice on the topic. Thanks. P.S. I'm not speaking to the camera, but into a microphone for the context on my setup. So this is interesting. This is from David. So David, I'm going to tell you, there's a skill involved in this, and I just did a video about swinging and missing, and sometimes I screw this up. I still screw this up, right? You'll hear me where I'll be fumbling on words, right? A lot of times, sometimes I'll record a video and I'm like, man, I'm smooth as hell. I don't know how I'm so smooth. Like just comes out of my mind and I just say it on the camera and it's funny and it's awesome. But sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm rambling again, blah, 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 right? You've seen those videos I've done. So, but the thing is, progressively, over time, I'm getting better. And part of the reason why, again, it's related to, I'll point to the video I just recorded on swinging a lot, is because I swing a lot. It's because I'm up in front of the camera and I'm not expecting myself to produce the 100% best quality that I can every time. Instead, what I'm expecting myself to do is to get up, produce something, put it out there. To evaluate it, yes, to go back, listen and whatnot, but not become a perfectionist over it. To try and give it my 80% and move on, because ultimately, what's going to make you better at things is not trying to make them perfect. It's what's going to make you better at things is doing them over and over and over again. I did this video on quantity being more important than quality. You can listen to that there. But that kind of gives you the point. So I'll give you some tips though, because I want to give you some, and I'll tell you also that there's a few interesting things here. So when I do videos, right? If you're curious, when I do videos, what you saw, that's what I do, right? I basically, maybe I'll look at the question ahead of time and I will maybe perhaps ponder it a little bit. If I have the time. If I'm shooting like 26 videos because I've got a professional recording me, I'm reading the question for the, just scanning it, and then I'm reading it, and then I'm just going with my gut, whatever I got to answer that question. And if you can come from that place and you have something to say, that's the best, right? And think about it this way, right? Because when I'm talking to you, right? I'm talking to the camera. When I look at the camera, I don't see a camera, and I'm not thinking about a camera. I'm thinking you are my friend, you're my buddy, okay, and we're having a conversation. And this question came up, right? This debate. You asked me this question, and now I am going to answer it for you, right? And when you have a conversation with your buddy, when you have a conversation with your friend, you don't like stumble on your. I mean, sometimes maybe you do. Maybe you don't know about the subject, or you're nervous, or something's going on, or you're talking to some hot girl or something. Maybe something like that, but majority of the time, when you're having a good discussion with a buddy of yours, you're in it, you're heated, you're debating, right? You're not trying to grasp for words and it's not coming out weird, right? It's coming right out of your mind. And the closer that you can get to that state, not only is it going to be better, but you're going to be more genuine. You're going to connect better. People that are watching your videos or listening to your videos, in your case, are going to feel like they connect better with you. So let your personality come out. If you're recording a tutorial also, right? Sometimes some of my earlier Pluralsight videos, I think were a little bit drier, but I started to inject a little bit more personality in there. Now, as much as Pluralsight would let me, but if I were recording a tutorial video today, I'd be laughing, I'd be having a good time, I'd be joking about some stuff, because this is the fun, right? You cannot educate someone unless you entertain them. And the priority when you give a talk, when you have any kind of medium like this, is entertainment is one. Education is too. If you make education one, it's just not going to work out. It doesn't work that way. People that are not interested are not educated. You have to entertain at the same time. And you don't tell knock-knock jokes. It's not that like you make a whole spectacle to entertain. You can have dazzling slides and PowerPoints. No, people connect through storytelling for genuine connection with another human being. And that's the key. And that's why YouTube, I think, is such an effective medium. That's why I do the camera instead of just the audio, is because I think that is important for connection. So that's the best advice I could possibly give you on doing that. And I'll tell you also that I run into this problem, right? Sometimes I was trying to record an intro, like a plug for one of my courses, right? Where basically, I'm trying to think what it was. I've done this a few times, right? Where I was trying to get someone to download something or sign up for an email course, and my marketing bro, Josh, he wanted me to record this video, and he had he's the marketing guru, so he had the whole hit the pain, talk about rub some salt in the wound and talk about the solution. And so he had these points that he wanted me to hit. And so at first I just kind of scanned it and I tried to talk, but I got to remember those points. So then I was like, okay, well, let me try and read this and hit those points, or let me make a bullet outline. And no matter what I did, it just kept on running. I couldn't hit those points, and I kept on doing it over and over and over again because I was rehearsing it too much at that point, right? So it was beyond the point where it could become natural. Like this video right now, this is totally natural. I have no idea what I'm going to say, what the next sentence that's going to come out of my mouth is, right? That tends to be the best, but it's not concise. It's not very concise, right? And so it doesn't necessarily work in that format. So anyway, if you rehearse too much, if you have a bullet, a list of things that you want to say, sometimes that can be it's more difficult, right? It's almost like you got to pick one end of the spectrum. One end of the spectrum, at least for me, that I found that works, is to be ad-libbing it as much as possible. You give me a question, you give me an idea, I'm going to run with it. I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to think about it ahead of time. I don't know like I said, the next sentence that's coming out of my mouth. That's what I'm doing right now. The other option is I'm going to script the sucker out and I'm going to say it. Today, I was trying to record a plug for Hired.com, which is a new sponsor on Simple Programmer. And by the way, a good plug for Hired.com, since they are sponsoring Simple Programmer, is that they have a pretty awesome job service, right? They've basically flipped things around. So they've made it so that as a job searcher, you basically fill out an application, and then a simple application, and then the employers apply for you, right? So anyway, you can check it out. Just go to hire.com/simpleprogrammer, and they give you they pay you, and they'll give you $2,000, I think, instead of $1,000 if you get a job with them. But anyway, see how I got that plug in there, because I need to get that for our sponsorship. I do appreciate it. Hire.com is really awesome. That's why I agreed. I don't take many sponsors on here, as you know. So anyway, the point is this. I was trying to record the audio for the podcast, for the Simple Programmer podcast, and they gave me a list of things to say, and I couldn't, it just wasn't working, right? And because I got to get it into 30 seconds or a minute. And so I ended up just saying, okay, look, let me read this thing. I'm going to type out exactly what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to put on my announcer voice, and I'm going to say Hire.com. That's awesome. You can get a job, right? And that's what I did. I mean, I didn't do it quite that extreme, but and that came out better. And a lot of times when I did Pluralsight courses, what I would do is, at first I was just doing everything, freestyle, but when I got my system down well, what I found out was that I needed to make the slides a little bit more concise. I didn't need to rattle on too much. So what I did was, when I did demos, I know how to talk about the demo. I can look at this code that I'm typing and tell you about it, and bam, that can flow right from my head. But when I'm looking at a diagram and I'm trying to explain it to you, I might ramble on a little bit. I might draw it out a little bit. I'm not being as concise with my words, right? And it's also not as very interesting on the screen. So what I would do is I would type out the script ahead of time for all of the slides. So when I did my demo part, I'm ad-libbing it. I'm just going by the seat of my pants. We're free balling, right? We're going commando. But when I got to the slide part, it's scripted, and I'm saying it. You know, it takes some practice to read a script with enthusiasm to be able to do that. You know, that definitely is an acquired skill. But if you get good at that, and if you write it in your own voice, you need to write things when you write a script out as if you're saying them, right? In fact, if you read my book, if you read Soft Skills, or if you've listened to the audio version was super easy for me to record. You know, I'll tell you why, aside from the time that it took. It's because when I write, my writing style is I write like I speak. So there's a lot of EM dashes in there. There's a lot of, you know, weird sentences because I'm structuring it in my head. I'm vocalizing myself saying it when I write. You know, you can notice a slight difference between my speaking and my writing, but for the most part, and that's going to make it easier if you do write a script for yourself. Write it like you're speaking. So anyway, I thought this was going to be a short video, but this is a long one. There's a lot to talk about on this subject. I think this is interesting, and a lot of people don't realize this. So to sum it up, I would say if you can speak from your mind, talking to a buddy, do that. That's going to be great. Or script it out and then practice cold reading. Practice, you know, reading the script and getting the enthusiasm and voice in there. But try to avoid the middle. As much as the middle is where you make 100. I swear on that stupid video I was doing for the marketing thing, I swear I did 100 takes. I swear it took me 5 hours to get a 30-second video. And this is ridiculous because I record, you know, how many videos a day, right? So avoid the middle ground. Maybe some people can do it. I would much rather give me a script or let me just fly by the seat of my pants, but do not tell me, give me points to hit. That is just, you know, maybe I'm just not good. Maybe I just need to become a better maybe I need to go to Toastmasters and figure that shit out. But anyway, that's my suggestion for you. And there's one other thing I was going to say. Oh yes, so for those of you that are still listening, you are interested in this, and this is why I'm going to plug this now. So I've been thinking about this for a while. Finally, I'm going to make a call out. So I'm summoning you to a cause. A lot of you that are listening, that have been watching these videos, I would challenge you. I'll invite you, as Elliot Holst would say. I invite you. I would invite you to start recording your own videos. If you haven't created your own YouTube channel already, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to do 2 or 3 videos a day like I do. That's fine. But start recording videos. This is a good step for you, for your personal growth. You know, you've probably signed up for my blogging course already if you haven't checked that out. But I've been meaning to hit the right segment of the audience, which is the people that are still listening. If you're listening, I'm talking to you if you're still listening. I would love to see more developers recording videos and sharing their knowledge and getting comfortable in front of the camera. I think this is a valuable skill, and you know, I feel like we've got this whole community of bloggers, right? I think from the Simple Programmer blogging course, there's a lot of you that are there's thousands of blogs that are being maintained and having great results on careers that have seeded from the Simple Programmer blogging course. I would love to do the same thing with YouTube. I would love for us to have a network of YouTube channels, and I'll help promote you. If you do a good job and you're recording videos, I promise I'll help promote you. You got to stick with it for a long time. You got to show me that you got some consistency and commitment to it. But I don't care if you suck. Go ahead. If you want to see suck, go back to my first few videos, honestly. Like, see how squeaky my voice is, see how fat I am, see how dumb I am, right? All of these things. You're going to suck at first. It's all right. So anyway, I would encourage you to do that. I would invite you, so to speak. Or JP Sears. That's also JP Sears, right? But anyway, I would love to see it. And if you do it, leave a comment below on this video and leave a link to your channel. I will let you plug your channel here or your video. I would love to see some of you creating some videos. I know that some of you already are, and that's awesome, but I feel like this is something that could be very valuable, and I'd love to see a network of YouTubers, you know, that come from Simple Programmer. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'm done. I'm not recording anymore. This is like my 4th video for today. I wasn't supposed to record any. I was going to go to sleep. But anyway, if you like the channel, subscribe, and don't forget to check out the Patreon campaign. Lots of cool stuff there. And I will talk to you next time. Take care.